Hi, this is Scott Arnaud with the Security Tip of the Week for the holidays. We're going to talk about shopping online today. Now, we'll do this in a few different parts. First, we'll talk about before you start shopping. Make sure that all of the software on your computer is up to date, including antivirus software. This means your operating system, be it Windows, Apple, or even Linux, your web browser, that could mean Internet Explorer, which if it's up to date is actually very safe. If it's not up to date, it's a little risky. Apple Safari, Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, they should all be completely up to date before you even start shopping. And as for your third-party software, this could mean anything else you're running aside from what I just mentioned. You'll want to use an automatic updater if you can. Those programs are actually free. There's a few of them. For Windows, there's one called the Personal Software Inspector from a company called Secunia. That's at secunia.com, which is S-E-C-U-N-I-A. There's another one for Windows called FileHippo at filehippo.com. And for a Mac, if you happen to have that, you can use one called AppFresh. There's both a free version and a paid version. The free version is actually fairly good, but it's certainly up to you. On top of that, just to make sure you have something for antivirus software, if you don't have it and it's not up to date, yes, this means if the subscription ran out last year, it's not up to date, you'll want to put in Microsoft Security Essentials. This is Microsoft's own antivirus program, and I've got to be honest, it's really good. It's improved quite a bit recently. For Apple, if you don't already have some antivirus software, there's one offered by Sophos, that's S-O-P-H-O-S. It's a British company which offers free antivirus software for the Mac, and it's pretty good. So once you start web browsing for deals, what do you have to worry about? Well, first and foremost, think before you click. There are a lot of fake sites set up this time of year. They might be selling, luxury replicas, Coach bags and Rolex watches from fake email addresses and such. You don't want to go there. What you also run into is very, very popular items at unrealistically cheap prices, especially with some sort of time limit, like buy a $100 brand new iPad if you write in the next 2 hours. Yeah, that's fake. Hopefully you know that. But what they'll also do sometimes is they'll use last year's hot items, where the price doesn't seem that crazy, but as you're trying to get it, you're hit with all these forms asking for a lot of personal information. Also a trick. They're just trying to steal your information. You'll never get the item. Now, what do you want to do? You want to stick to sites you're familiar with. Now, there are a few sites I can tell you right off are bad. GetSign.com, BidQuick.com, BidOnline.com, BlackFridayWatch.com, all bad. And even if you see a site you're familiar with, you want to check the spelling to make sure it's actually done correctly. There's a respected electronics firm called Harbor Electronics, which a year or so ago actually had a fake site go up, also called Harbor Electronics. The difference being the real one had the American spelling, H-A-R-B-O-R Electronics. The fake one, H-A-R-B-O-U-R Electronics, basically the British spelling. And if you use that spelling, you wind up getting your information stolen. They take your credit card information and never send you anything. Not so good. What you can often do is if you see a link that's presented to you when you're going on a site, you can hover over it with your mouse. And in the bottom corner of your screen will be a little representation of what you're looking at. So you can make sure that what it claims to be actually matches what the real link is. It's always helpful to do that. Now, this includes links found in social media, be it on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, etc. Now, one other thing you want to do is when you're doing the searching, that top bar right across the screen, the address bar, should have a closed padlock on the upper left side, and next to it an HTTPS. That means you have a secure encrypted version of the internet. Anytime you're doing any shopping or dealing with your bank, for example, you always want to make sure you have that. Also, don't do any financial transactions, including the Christmas shopping, with a public Wi-Fi, meaning don't do your Christmas shopping if you're sitting in a coffee shop and no password was even needed to get on the network. People with some nasty software can snoop and steal your stuff, and that's never good. Now, also, if you happen to be doing your shopping by a tablet or a smartphone, it's probably a good idea to just go through the vendor's trusted app, meaning you got it directly through the App Store, either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, instead of your browser, because you know it's directly from them. With the browser, you run into these fake link problems. It's just one way to avoid it. Finally, let's talk about a few other potential holiday season problems. You can get a lot of fake emails coming from alleged retailers and even charities. These will come directly into your email inbox. That's called phishing. Or they might come to you as a text message, which is called smishing, because texting is properly referred to as short message service. Just keep an eye out for these sorts of things, and if it looks too good to be true, it is. One of the things to look out for is bogus gift cards. Be especially wary when they're offered to you from a third-party seller. If it's a company you know, but it's not being offered from the company you know, don't touch it. Also, e-cards. Unfortunately, it's great to send them, it's great to get them, but they're really easy to fake, and when you click on them, you wind up with a lot more than you bargained for. Finally, there's fake classified ads. That's where you basically, you run into an ad, you go send off money, or worse yet, you give them your credit card number, you never get the item, and they have your number. So definitely don't do anything until you actually personally see the item, and if possible, pay cash or maybe use a money order. Hopefully these tips have been helpful. And in the meantime, have a wonderful, safe, and happy holiday season. Thank you so much from all of us at the Security Advocate.